The old woman's fingers, gnarled as ancient roots, traced the worn inscription on the stone altar. The air in the hidden grove, thick with the scent of crushed herbs and sun-warmed earth, hummed with a peculiar stillness. Ilara, barely a woman herself, watched, her heart a frantic bird in its cage. "The final verse, child," the old woman Lyra rasped, her voice barely a whisper. "The one that binds the offering to blessing. The one that calls forth him." Ilara swallowed. For generations, their village had clung to the whispers of a forgotten faith, a faith that spoke of a vibrant living God, not the distant indifferent deities of the encroaching empires. They lived by the ancient verses, the Psalms, not as faded texts, but as living instructions. And Psalm 67, in particular, was their secret, their hope, their desperate gamble. They had followed it meticulously. The offering of the first fruits of their harvest, the communal prayers, the joyous music that had echoed through the valley just this morning. Now, it was time for the final most potent act. Lyra held a small, intricately carved wooden bird, its wings outstretched in an eternal flight. It was made from the oldest tree in the grove, a sacrifice steeped in their history and their longing. "You will speak the words, Ilara," Lyra said, her eyes ancient and clear, fixed on the young woman. "Your voice is pure, unburdened by the cynicism of years. It is meant for this." Ilara's hands trembled as Lyra placed the bird in her grasp. It felt impossibly light, yet held the weight of their entire community. The verses of Psalm 67 had been etched onto her soul since childhood, a melody of hope and a promise. But now, the final terrifying crescendo was about to be sung. "Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let all the peoples praise you." Lyra's voice, though frail, resonated with a deep conviction. Ilara took a deep breath, the scent of the grove filling her lungs. She looked out at the surrounding hills, the fields that fed them, the river that sustained them. All of it was a gift, a whisper of the divine that had sustained them through famine and hardship. But whispers weren't enough anymore. The world outside was growing colder, its gods demanding tribute and enforcing dogma with steel. They needed more than a whisper. They needed a roar. "May God be gracious to us and bless us," Ilara began, her voice trembling at first, then gaining strength. The words felt different now, not recited, but released. "And make his face to shine upon us." As she spoke, a warmth bloomed within the grove, not the heat of the sun, but something softer, more pervasive. The leaves of the ancient trees seemed to shimmer, their colors deepening. "That your way may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations." The air around them began to vibrate, a low thrumming that settled into Ilara's bones. It was like the deep resonance of a cello, felt more than heard. "Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let all the peoples praise you." Ilara's voice, now strong and clear, echoed through the stillness. Her eyes, wide with wonder, met Lyra's steady gaze. The wooden bird in her hand felt warm, alive. "Then the earth has yielded its increase. God, our God, shall bless us." As the last word left Ilara's lips, the world around them exploded. It wasn't an explosion of destruction, but of incandescent light. A light that wasn't blinding, but illuminating, revealing the intricate beauty of every blade of grass, every dewdrop clinging to a spider's web. The air crackled with an energy that felt like pure, unadulterated joy. And then they felt it. Not a voice from the heavens, not a booming pronouncement. It was a presence. An overwhelming, all-encompassing presence that washed over them like a divine tide. It was love, profound and absolute. It was understanding, beyond human comprehension. It was the very essence of creation, pulsing with life. Lyra sank to her knees, tears streaming down her weathered face. Ilara felt a profound sense of recognition, as if she had finally found a part of herself she never knew was missing. The wooden bird in her hand pulsed with a gentle radiance, reflecting the light that now bathed them. From the highest peak of the distant mountains, a single impossibly pure beam of light shot upwards, piercing the azure sky. It wasn't a weapon, but a signal. A declaration. A testament to the living God who still heard the prayers of his faithful. The villagers, hearing the hum and seeing the light from their homes, rushed to the edges of the village, their faces etched with awe and disbelief. They had always prayed, always believed in their quiet way. But this was undeniable. The light from the mountain spread, a gentle wave of warmth and peace rippling across the land. Animals stirred from their slumber, no longer fearful. The wilting crops in the field seemed to straighten, their leaves unfurling with renewed vigor. Ilara, still standing at the altar, felt a connection to everything. The soil beneath her feet, the rustling leaves above, the distant murmur of her people. It was all part of the same grand symphony, and she, the humble singer of the final verse, had helped to orchestrate its most glorious movement. The presence lingered, a comforting embrace, then began to recede, not vanishing, but settling back into the fabric of existence, a quiet hum that would forever resonate beneath the everyday. Lyra, her voice choked with emotion, whispered, "He heard us." He answered. Ilara, her heart full to bursting, looked at the wooden bird, its glow now subsided, but its warmth still a tangible gift. "The earth has yielded its increase," she said, her voice imbued with a newfound certainty. "And God, our God, has blessed us." The world hadn't fundamentally changed in a day. Empires still held sway, and the darkness of ignorance still lurked. But for Ilara and her village, everything was different. They knew, with an unshakable vibrant certainty, that their God was real. He was alive. And he had heard their song. The psalm was no longer just a text. It was a living testament, a promise fulfilled, a divine awakening that had begun in a hidden grove, with a young woman's voice and a prayer of desperate, beautiful faith. They were no longer a forgotten people. They were the people who had called forth their God, and in his response, they had found their true inheritance.